We are the restaurant brokers, and we sell restaurants.
We started the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm over a decade ago.
Atlanta, Georgia was our starting point, but our brand is spreading nationwide. We define restaurant brokerage and help buyers just like these.
Our dream, our goal, open up a restaurant, loving life, serving people breakfast and lunch, and then enjoying the rest of the day with them and ourselves.
Buying an existing restaurant, leasing a closed restaurant space, or purchasing a restaurant franchise. We help buyers satisfy their appetite for acquisition.
I'm part of a husband and wife team with this fella.
Working with my wife has been a lot of fun. The ultimate goal for everybody here is to make this work. And because we have different strengths, we bring different angles to the deal.
The process begins with our powerhouse website, WeSellRestaurants.com, where buyers sign online confidentiality agreements and browse restaurants for sale.
Then we send buyers undercover to check out a restaurant and decide if it's the right one for them.
Buyers get our proprietary business analysis tool with all the financial details on the business for sale.
After studying the restaurant inside and out, it's back to our office.
We're deal makers. We write contracts and negotiate terms for buyers and sellers. That's why we sell more restaurants than any other firm in the nation. We are the restaurant brokers. Our name says it all. That sound means you're back on the air with the restaurant brokers, Eric and Robin Gagnon. Today we were talking about America's very guilty pleasure, takeout food. So we had the vice president of Zifty, Jennifer Pete, and Chef Jessica Swift, and they provide specialized meals. So now it's our turn, Eric. Let's talk about the inside scoop and unbridled truth when it comes to takeout and delivery, because the one thing that occurs to me is that just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. Do you agree? Because listening to Zifty, I think there are probably restaurants that don't need to be in the delivery business whatsoever, and outsourcing is probably the way to go.
I agree. Again, thank you so much to Jen and then Jess for being with us today. So much information. I do agree so much. You know, the times where back in the 70s when you just hired, your dishwasher was kind of slow and you put him in his car and you sent him out with a bag of food on the street, I think that is not very well thought of nowadays. I mean, I think that's going to be a big problem for people that want to do that, and it's going to lead to probably underappreciation from the customer expectation.
Well, and I think one point that Jen made that I think is very important, because I just sold a restaurant recently, and the insurance cost, if you are in the delivery business, can be just knock your socks off, big money. And so sometimes a restaurateur will think, what's the big deal? I'll just, not have that special policy that allows for my drivers to be out there delivering food. And boy, the reality of that is that it could really bite you in the tail, because, all that guy has to do is run a red light, hit somebody, and now all of a sudden it's not just his insurance in play, it's your livelihood and your home and your everything you've worked for on the line, because you're not properly insured against, reckless or careless actions. And we're all human. It could happen.
Correct. And make sure you get some quotes from more than one person. There's a lot of variances. Like Robin said, get the proper insurance. Some of them are very, very expensive because they don't do it. Get some people that do insure a lot of restaurants, especially that some have delivery programs. So get the right quote. That's very important, because if not, you can pay a lot, or if it's too good to be true, maybe you're underinsured and you're going to run into some of the problems that Robin talked about today. So that's a very big point of that. We talk about today a menu that travels well. So maybe if you are thinking about delivery, it's something that, only limited items. If you know for a fact that something has to come out of your oven and go to the table within 20 seconds, it may not be a product that you can actually take to your customer's home or people that want to try your restaurant. So you may want to sit down with your chef, your team, and say, okay, what can we put? And also, one thing that Jen talked about a lot, it's about the hot pads. That's a food temperature is very, very big. And I know for every restaurant, and I know in the pizza takeout delivery business, a lot of time, somebody will call and say, hey, the pizza's cold, no problem, we'll send you another one. But, when you start getting into more full meals and everything, it may not be cost efficient to do that. So you have to be very careful about that. So you've got to make sure that you use some of the best products. So just don't buy, hey, we have hot pads and we have hot bags and we got a guy with a car here with insurance and we're good to go. There's more to it, right?
There is a lot more to it. And I think that if I went to 99 out of 100 restaurants online and I pulled up their menu, they have one menu. And then if they do delivery, they'll deliver across the board. And it's like so many times that we talked about, what are your best margin items? What are those items that do actually heat and maintain a core temperature that's appropriate, that's going to be delivered without any health risks or problems? And then, how long is it going to take to get to? How long is your delivery radius going to be? I mean, for me personally, I'd outsource it. I wouldn't even undergo this kind of work. There's too many other moving parts in a restaurant to deal with. But there are, obviously, profit margin concerns, because then if you outsource it, you have to pay a third party a piece of the business.
I think it's a combination. I think if you look at it, some of it's paid by the customer, because the customer likes that convenience, so they don't mind paying a few extra dollars. And if you look at it from a customer perspective, hey, if I'm going to the restaurant and dine at your place, I'm still going to have to tip the waiter a certain amount, probably 15-20% or more. So if that cost is roughly about the same to get the food in the comfort of my home, it may not be an extra cost for them. But again, like Robin said, this is a logistical nightmare. And one of my favorites say to the We Sell Restaurant team and buyers and sellers all the time is time is your enemy. And in this case here, I believe time is your enemy. I mean, you do not have the time to put this program together or to probably get the real time. I mean, we're talking about real time tracking. People want to know where their food is right now. Ticket time versus delivery time. Unknowns. They talk about, traffic jams and some of the larger cities. I think we talk about D.C. and other cities. Rush hour traffic. How do we get foods at different places? And also you have option. If you can have certain 5 dishes that are very quick. We heard Jen from Safety say, hey, people can go online and look how long it would take to get my food, and that may get you a new customer. And a lot of people may not want to go there because you're on a wait every day, but guess what? They can get the food home, which is a great way to get new business.
Well, and also just the investment in infrastructure. So if your delivery people are going to have their own vehicles, or are you going to buy vehicles and staff them? Are you going to have some kind of a technology platform on the back end that, does some sorts of calculations? Because one thing is that since the bar keeps being set with all the delivery services, so if everybody else is able to deliver the food on time, deliver it hot, deliver it fresh, and they're able to track where it is, then that becomes the expectation. True or not, but that becomes what you have to actually operate against or model against. And honestly, I think most operators are just better off doing what they do well. Do within your 4 walls and let somebody else do outside your 4 walls. And I'm usually not an advocate much of outsourcing, but this one just seems like the bar's been raised so high and the technology is so good for the services that really do this well that I'm not sure that it makes a lot of sense for a restaurateur to try to tack this on. I don't think it'll be a net gain, a plus up. And in restaurant reality, a piece of what we always talk about, Eric, is what is it going to deliver to the bottom line? Let's say you do an extra $50,000. Remember, years ago, we actually sold a franchise, and we transferred an old franchise agreement, and the new franchisee refused to do delivery because he went through and looked at the gross sales and his margin on those sales and his insurance and his fee for a driver, and he cut it out. Remember, the franchise pitched a fit at him.
I know. And what a good thing I like about these services, like we heard today about Zifty, it's like you can order up to 1 month in advance. What about pre-sales? I mean, isn't that amazing if you know that you have $10,000 coming next month, that, it's already in the bank because they're pre-ordered and you know what time you have to deliver it?
Okay, so we've talked so much about this topic, I almost forgot to talk about the restaurants that we have for sale.
I have one. I have 2 words for you. Papa John's.
Oh, that's the king of delivery right there.
Central Florida. They know how to do delivery. That's all they do. So please, in Central Florida, 3-store package. $399,000 in the Central Florida area. These stores are all in good shape, less than 3 years old. This is a great value for somebody, and they know this is the second largest pizza chain, I think, in the world. So this is a very good opportunity. One store just to build will cost you over $300,000 per store.
I love the idea of the simplicity of the pizza business. And then on this side, what we didn't talk about in Restaurant Reality is that Papa John's already figured out the logistics model for you. So that technology, that infrastructure, that how-to, that insurance, they've already solved for it. So, okay, there's the option of delivery on your own, outsource 100%, or you go with a franchise brand like Papa John's, who that's all they do. So they've got it under control.
And you know what? We got some more. Go to WeSellRestaurants.com, look at our listings for sales, and please don't hesitate to give us a call or reach out to us on email if you want more information on any of our listings.
That's right. You can also find many of our listings even on our Twitter feed. It's @SellRestaurants. Of course, we're on LinkedIn. We Sell Restaurants. We're your industry authority and source for information when it comes to restaurants for sale. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon, and we are the Restaurant Brokers.